The whole process of writing a book is really tough. It's a lot of work. And people, they kind of know that it's a lot of work, but once they get into it, they realize, wow, this is really a lot of work. There's so many moving parts.
Welcome to another dynamic episode of Eliot Kelly TV. Today I have with me Mr. Josh Steimle. Josh helps entrepreneurs publish their book, grow their business, and make an impact. He is an entrepreneur, he's an author, and he is a speaker. Josh, welcome to Eliot Kelly TV.
Eliot, thank you so much for having me on. I'm excited to be here.
Good. Our topic today is how to grow your business. But before we go into some of the steps to growing your business, Josh, share with us your professional story.
The short version is that I started a marketing agency in 1999, and that agency kind of failed its way forward until 2013. It was always doing well enough to keep me going, but it was never doing well enough that I felt like it was really a success or what I dreamed it could be. And in 2013, everything changed for me. The first thing was I brought on a partner. That was one big change. The second thing was I got the opportunity to write for Forbes magazine. And writing for Forbes led to opportunities to write for a dozen, 24 other business publications, Fortune, Time, Inc., Mashable, TechCrunch. And my agency generated over $10 million US in revenue from my writing for these publications because of the exposure and the attention that it generated. And it led to a TEDx talk and a book deal and all these opportunities. And that's when I realized, wow, this is powerful stuff here. I mean, I've been running a marketing agency, but this is real powerful marketing. And so that's when I became interested in thought leadership and influence. And a few years later, I had some spare time. And so I launched this new endeavor to help other entrepreneurs do what I had done to build their thought leadership, build their personal brand, write a book, create content, get it out there, and grow their business through it.
Thank you, Josh, for sharing. What a dynamic story, and we totally love your energy. If you have just joined us, we're on with Josh Steimle. Go ahead and smash that share button. You know how we do it, and hit that like and notification bell. Josh, tell us, what inspires you?
I'm inspired by helping people to make the world a better place. I mean, I look at my own life and my mission, and I think, I don't want to just die and feel like I lived and I had some fun and then it ended. I want to make a difference that lasts. And I looked at what I could do and I thought, well, I can write books and I can do things to help people through my marketing agency, but how much of an impact is that really going to make? But I thought, if I can help other people to increase their influence and do what they want to do and live their lives and live their life missions, then maybe I can make a bigger difference doing that. And so now I'm helping other people to write books, engage in thought leadership, and I'm helping hundreds of people to do this. And so I look at that and I think most people are good. And so I think if I can help other people become influential, they'll use that influence to make the world a better place. And if I can help hundreds, maybe thousands, maybe tens of thousands of people to do that, then I'm making a real difference through the people that I'm helping. That's what really gets me motivated.
You've been helping so many authors publish their book. What is the greatest challenge for some of those persons launching?
Well, it's getting started, and then it's the part in the middle, and then it's finishing. It's basically the whole process. The whole process of writing a book is really tough. It's a lot of work. And people, they kind of know that it's a lot of work, but once they get into it, they realize, wow, this is really a lot of work. There's so many moving parts to getting a book finished. It's not just writing the book, it's cover design and the title and the marketing and the launch strategy and editing and proofreading and how do you publish this thing? There's so many different parts that you have to line up. And so people get hung up on all of those. Now, the first thing people run into is just getting the book started. Some people they have an idea, but then they get into it a little bit and they realize, you know what, that's not really the idea I want to write. I want to write this other book. And then they start on that and they think, I don't know if I want to write this book either. And then they start doubting themselves and thinking, well, even if I write this, is anybody going to read this? Will anybody care? Is it going to make any difference? I mean, what am I spending all this time on? Am I really going to get an ROI off of this? And so people run into a lot of self-doubt and challenges with the process, and it's hard to work through those things. That's what I try to do, is help people get through those challenges and say, no, it's going to be worth it. People are going to love this. It's going to make an impact out there, but it's tough.
Thank you. Our topic is obviously how to grow your business. Josh, explain the relationship between growing your business and writing a book.
So with my own story, I was writing for Forbes and these other publications. I was based in Hong Kong at the time, and I was getting a lot of attention and a lot of business through the writing I was putting out in Forbes and these other publications. But I realized that even with the authority and the credibility that came with having my name attached to these major publications, I was missing having a book, and that there was added authority and credibility that came from a book that you couldn't duplicate any other way. And I saw people who were getting the big paid speaking engagements, who are getting paid $20,000, $30,000 to go do a 1 hour talk, which is crazy, right? I mean, that's ridiculous money for a 1 hour talk. And all of these people had a book. And the people who were getting 50, 60 speaking engagements a year, they all had a book. And I started looking at all of my heroes and I realized all of these people have a book. And then we had a problem with my marketing agency when we were over in Hong Kong, that we lost a big deal that we should have gotten. And it was because a chief marketing officer came in and squashed our deal. And I thought, man, if I had a book like digital marketing for the CMO or something, I could have handed that to that CMO and it would have given me instant credibility. And maybe we would have landed that deal instead of losing it. And that's what really got me started thinking about writing a book, to enhance my credibility, by extension, to add credibility to my business, to help us land deals, to help us get exposure to new deals. And I saw that this is what everybody else was doing. This is what Gary Vaynerchuk's doing. He's got all these best-selling books. And that's what all these other people out there who are doing big things, they all seem to have a book. Now, not 100% of them, but it's like 95% of them. And so that's what really got me into it. And as I've gotten into writing more books and helping other people write books, I see it. People write a book and there's just this instant credibility that comes with it, because other people see that, they know that that's serious work, and they say, wow, if he wrote the book on this topic, he must be the expert on it. He must know what he's talking about. And so those people are more likely to get hired, to get the deal for their business, to attract partners, to attract employees, top talent that they're trying to recruit, because all things being equal, people want to work with the person who's the expert, and they figure if somebody's got the book, they must be the expert on that topic.
Thank you, Josh. You've had some amazing traveling experiences. How has travel impacted your ability to publish books?
I think it's helped me to write better books, because when you live in another culture where the language is different, you understand that some things don't translate. Certain jokes or certain sayings. I mean, even between you and me, I'm sure I'm in the US, you're in the UK, and I'm sure if we got to talking, we'd run into little sayings that you'd be like, what are you talking about, Josh? Like, what did you just say? And you would say things and I'd be like, yeah, that's some British thing. I don't know what you're talking about. But especially when people don't speak the same language and you're doing translation, you realize this joke that I use in my talk, that I want to use in my book, like, this is not going to translate. It will make zero sense. I think that makes you a better writer, because even within your own language, a lot of these things don't translate. And so living abroad pushes you to simplify your writing, and not to dumb it down, but to make it understandable so everybody can read your stuff and say, I know exactly what he's saying. I know the message he's trying to get across. So I feel like living in Hong Kong, living in China has really helped me to simplify my writing. And when I'm writing, I'm thinking about, hey, maybe someday this book can get translated into Chinese. How is this language going to work for that culture? How are these ideas going to translate for that culture? And I think that makes my writing more, approachable, accessible. It makes it more accessible so that I know that I can reach a broader audience with the language that I'm using.
Thank you so much. Knowing what you know now about publishing, what's one thing you would not have done that you did?
One of the things I wouldn't have done is I wouldn't have gone with a traditional publisher for my first book. Now, I'm so thankful to that publisher, and I really appreciated the experience that I got working with them. But having gone through the process of working with a traditional publisher, there's so much that you can do as a self-published author, and you actually get more control and you can move faster. Things like cover design. When a traditional publisher buys your book, they own your book. It's not your book anymore. And so they can come in and say, no, this is the cover that we're doing, and you have no say in it. And if they say, hey, we're going to delay launching your book for 6 months, you have no say in it, really. I mean, usually they work with you, they cooperate with you. But the traditional publishing process, it slows things down and you lose control of your book. And of course, you don't get to keep as much of the revenue, although the dirty secret of book publishing is you don't make money off the book or off the book sales. You make money from things that the book does for you, from the deals that it brings to your business, from the speaking gigs, from all the other things the book does. But the actual book sales itself, you'll be lucky if you cover your investment with that.
Thank you. We're on with Josh Steimle, and he's here dropping some nuggets about publishing your book and growing your business. Go ahead and smash that share button, hit that like and notification bell. Josh, what question should I have asked you that I didn't?
Well, I think one of the questions is how do you integrate a book with the rest of your thought leadership system, or how can you use it to expand your business? And so a lot of people think, well, I write the book, I get the credibility, I get more business, and that's kind of where they leave it. But there's a lot more that you can do with that book. For example, you can take a book and you can launch an online course based on that book. So the book costs $20, $30 or something. And you might sell a course for $500, $1,000, maybe a couple of $1,000. And so you can develop a course that's more in depth, that has video content, that's more interactive, and that leads people through a funnel. So somebody might not be ready to hire your consulting business, for example, on a $10,000 a month engagement fee. But in between the book that's $20 and the engagement fee that's $10,000 a month, you can launch a course in there for $1,000. And so that gets people to the next step. And then you take them from the course and you say, well, hey, let me come in and do a one-time training with your company, and I'll fly in, I'll do this for 2 hours, we'll do this workshop, and that's the next step. And so the book is part of that funnel, and it's the cheapest part because it's just $20 or something. That's easy to get people to bite off on that and get the book. But then the book leads through this funnel until you get them to where you really want them to be, which is that high ticket item that you're selling.
Thank you. I like that concept of beginning with the end in mind. Thank you so much for that, Josh. How can our audience get in contact with you, Josh?
So my business is publishedauthor.com. And also my personal website where I do a lot of blogging is joshsteimle.com, joshsteimle.com.
Good stuff. What does the future hold for Josh?
More books, helping people publish books, lots of books. I guarantee there are lots of books in the future.
Thank you so much, Josh. Our quote for today is, when we change the way we look at things, the things we look at change. And that's by the late Dr. Wayne Dyer. Thank you so much, Josh, for joining us here on Eliot Kelly TV. Never lose your passion.